Hello, and welcome to another video on legends and myths. Today I'll be telling you the story of the great and mighty demigod, Maui, the hero of Hawaii. Maui is the great culture hero and trickster in Polynesian mythology. Very rarely was Maui actually worshipped, being less of a deity and more of a folk hero. His origins vary from culture to culture, but many of his main exploits remain relatively similar. The Mo'olelo story and history of Maui's great strength and compassion for mankind is another found throughout Polynesia. The story goes that one day Maui realized that the people were being held down by the sky. They were unable to stand upright, and the low sky had flattened leaves and inhibited the growth of plants and trees. Seeing the people suffer, Maui couldn't just stand and watch, so he decided to help the people of Earth. Maui seeks the help of his father, Makiatutara, to raise the sky. Maui lays on the ground and begins pushing up the sky with his great power. He signals his father to start pushing also, and together push the sky up high enough for the people, plants, and trees to be able to grow tall and strong. Some say that if the father and son had not worked together, the sky would have fallen completely, making the earth uninhabitable. Working together, this family saved humankind. There are several versions of this story. The second version is when Maui visits a kahuna, meaning Hawaiian priest and healer, to help with the matter of the low sky. It is said that the demigod visited a kahuna anana, or Hawaiian priest and sorcerer. Types of kahuna were diverse, and the word refers to an expert of a particular skill. This kahuna tattooed Maui with a magical symbol on his forearm, giving him great powers. Maui also sought out an old woman kapuna, or elder, and drank from her gourd, giving him the great strength he would need to lift the sky. After a great struggle, Maui pushed the sky above the mountains, where it remained to this day. When storm clouds gather over Haleakala, it is said they are afraid to stay in case Maui chooses to hurl them so far that they can never return. In another myth, particularly the story of Maui restraining the sun, the demigod is once again seen aiding mankind. In Hawaii, Maui's mother, Hina, complains that her kapa cloth does not have time to dry due to the shortness of daylight. Maui climbs to the top of Haleakala volcano and waits hidden at the crater's rim for the sun to rise. Using magical lassos made from his sister's hair, Maui snares the sun's rays, thought to be the sun's arms, and threatens to beat him fiercely. The sun agrees to slow its pace across the sky, thus helping his mother and the rest of mankind by increasing the growing season. Variations on this story include Maui being helped by his grandmother and his brothers. It is a testament to how important the family is in the Hawaiian and Polynesian culture. One of the most popular myths of Maui found throughout Polynesia is related to how he pulled up islands from the ocean floor. There are several versions of this fable applied to different islands depending on their natural makeup. For instance, in Hawaii, Maui pulled up the islands by tricking his brothers into paddling their canoe with all their might to haul up each island which he had hooked using a great and magical fish hook called Manaya Kalani, telling them it was a massive fish. The demigod repeats this trick for every island. In New Zealand, Maui pulls up a great manta ray while fishing with his brothers. Maui leaves them there with the canoe to get a priest to perform the ritual associated with a large catch. While he's gone, his brothers begin to hack at the great beast in order to get their share of the catch. This created the deep valleys and mountains of the North Island, with Maui's canoe being the South Island. The Polynesian religion often ascribed human attributes to animal life. Demigods were often portrayed as shapeshifters who could turn into a variety of animals. Maui is attributed with shifting into an insect while playing hide and seek with his brothers, to changing into large birds. However, some tales speak of large and menacing creatures that dwell in the ocean, who were battled and subdued by the great demigod. One tale being the story of Maui and the long eel is another that can be heard across the Pacific from Hawaii to New Zealand. It all started when Hina went down to a nearby stream and was confronted by a large eel. In Hawaii, the eel is known as Kunaloa, and he longed for the beauty and companionship of Hina. But after his advances are rejected, he becomes vengeful and creates a diversion of the stream, which begins to flood the cave dwelling of Hina and her family, including her son, Maui. After calling for help, Maui arrives and smashes the dam, diverting the water. The large eel continues to harass Hina, striking her on the riverbank, covering her with slime, and later chasing her into nearby breadfruit tree. She tells Maui, and he decides the eel must be killed. Traps were laid, and when Maui caught the long eel, the demigod cuts him into pieces with his stone axe. The remnants of the long eel were thrown into the sea, where they became various sea creatures, including the saltwater eels today. The blood of Kunaloa that flowed into the stream became the freshwater eels, and Maui buried the head of Kunaloa near the shore, which from the buried head grew a palm tree, creating the first coconuts. Tiring of existing on raw fish and vegetables, Maui desired cooked food and the ability of his mother to cook with and warm herself with an open fire. While out fishing his brothers, the demigod witnessed a very small plume of white smoke along the shore. Determined to find out the cause of it, rushed to the spot and discovers an aliula hen, Hawaiian moorhen or galanui, stamping out and attempting to hide a small fire. Maui decides to wait while hidden in order to observe the hen starting another fire. The next day, the hen notices the absence of Maui in the canoe with his brothers and thus does not attempt to build a fire. Maui, realizing the hen is onto him, places a large human-shaped log in the canoe with his brothers the next day. Now the hen, thinking it safe to build the fire, begins gathering sticks and leaves for kindling. Maui observes the hen rubbing the sticks together. Emerging from his hiding spot, he captures the old hen by the neck, demanding she teaches him how to make fire himself. At first, the hen tries to fool Maui by instructing him to rub water plants together, then wet twigs, all resulting in unsuccessful attempts. Annoyed, Maui tightens his grip on the bird's neck, forcing her to give up her secret. The Elae Ula, meaning burnt forehead, finally concedes and instructs Maui to rub a dry stick into a piece of sandalwood bark and haw tree fibers until a flame appears. Having made fire, Maui decides to punish the hen for her trickery. He burns the crest on the top of the bird's head, and this is why the adult Alae Ula has a red crest. There are several stories of the demise of the great hero in Hawaiian religion, from being struck down by a priest to having a mountain collapse onto him while digging a tunnel. Maui's mischievous nature always became his undoing. The one most widely known stories of his death is from New Zealand. After overcoming so many obstacles and successfully defeating many foes, Maui longs for victory over death. His love and compassion for humanity was endless, from lifting the sky to giving humans the gift of fire. But his last heroic attempt of a good deed would lead to his bitter end. The story told that Maui believed immortality should be a gift bestowed upon mankind. Yet his father warned him that his time of failure and death would surely come. Maui asked his father, "By what shall I be overcome?" And his father replied, "There is one so powerful that no tricks can be of any avail." Maui's father told him of his ancestor, Hinui Te Po, great hind of the night, the giant goddess of death and the underworld, would see to his demise. This goddess had flashing green eyes, volcanic glass for teeth, a large fish-like mouth, and hair that floated in the air like seaweed. His father admitted to a mistake he had made when chanting the invocation of Maui's childhood, when he was made sacred and guarded by charms, but his father had forgotten part of the ceremony, and because of this, the demigod's death would one day be certain. Hinui Te Po guarded the place of life, and Maui persuaded his brothers to go with him to keep watch. Maui planned to enter into the goddess's womb, cut out her heart, and exit through her mouth, thus killing the goddess and bringing the heart of immortality to mankind. While Hinui Te Po was sleeping, he entered her womb as a mokomoko, lizard, and retrieved the heart, but as he emerged from her mouth, One of his brothers laughed at the attempt, a careless act that woke the goddess, who snapped her obsidian teeth closed, cutting Maui in half. Maui failed to overcome Hinui Tepo, thus entered the gates of death. This means that humans would continue to die. Prior to his death, Maui had asked Hinui Tepo to let people die as the moon wanes in the sky and rises again. She responded, "Let him die forever and be buried in the earth, and so be greeted and mourned." Maui will forever be remembered as a generous and heroic demigod who gave his life for humanity to thrive and live a peaceful and also fulfilling life. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the tales of the great Hawaiian hero. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you in the next myth.